everyone, this is Kelly and I am here to do a reading on the Green Witches Oracle deck. I picked this one up because my friend Patrick's wife had bought him one, this deck I think for Christmas time, and he had said I would probably really like this, so I had picked it up. I think I'd seen it at Barnes & Noble's. Usually if I just pick something up randomly, it's Barnes & Noble's, where I've just seen it after somebody said something to me, but I think that's where I got it, but I can't promise. It might have been Amazon. It is produced by Simon & Schuster. It says, guide your magic with nature's wisdom, introducing the Green Witches Oracle deck, a magical tool that connects you with the wisdom of nature and the enchanting realm of green witchcraft. Embark on a transformative journey guided by this captivating Oracle deck. Within this deck's beautifully illustrated cards, you will find a tapestry of botanical wonders, ancient symbols, and mystical creatures. It doesn't say here how many. It shows $19.99 US. I'm sure it's probably cheaper than that on Amazon, and I always pay with, use a coupon or something, a discount or coupon that I have at Barnes & Noble's, but it's around 20 bucks. The box is gorgeous. The artwork is beautiful there. I'm gonna do this. This will be my second one in a row that I'm gonna do it in piles first, because, and look at the back, because it does kind of have, an interesting, it doesn't have any suits or anything, but it does kind of have an interesting breakdown that I was just kind of looking at and playing around with, so I just wanted to mention it. As with I think the last walkthrough that I did also had, that one actually had a suit system. But anyways, this one does have, and it does not, let me make sure, I don't believe it, yeah, nope, it just starts with, are they alphabetical? No. This is the one that's, I don't understand why anybody would do this. I'll be honest. For me, this is a criticism, but I think it's an important criticism. It has, how to read your Oracle card. I'm trying to see where it shows the cards. So all it says is the cards and how to interpret them. And that starts at page 27. The cards in this deck are based on the tenets of green magic, seasons, stages of plant growth, garden tools, and magical tools, which can be the same things in green witchcraft, herbs, stones, and garden creatures. Each card has been selected according to its symbolism and how it can function in Green Witches practice and development. Some of the cards are based on actions or more abstract concepts such as preserve or tend, which I love. These concepts have their own energy and application within the natural cycle. Using both abstracts and physical objects in an oracle deck allows your reading to be multifaceted, encouraging you to pay attention to action as well as objects. I quite love that, and I agree with that. Again, I overall love this deck, but you'll see that the cards are not numbered. Right? They do have a main keyword like broom, but the next keyword is earth. And the next keyword is moss agate. So this isn't even like all the crystals. And then we have sage, a plant. And then we have lavender, a plant. And then we have potion, so on and so forth, right? These are not numbered, nor are they alphabetized, nor are they really grouped together in any, what I can think of as a meaningful way. So I'm not sure. I feel like this must have been an accident. Like it was supposed to be numbered, and then everything got put in and they decided to pull the numbers, so they didn't add the numbers in. That's the only thing that because there's no index, right? So you can't go scan an index to find it. Even that would at least let you find, that's still, I just, not the greatest. But then you can at least do that. It ends with harvest, so there's no anything in the back to help you to go find the page number. So that is just the weirdest thing to me, that it makes me believe that this had to have been an accident, that this should have been numbered. And so these would have been the order of the numbers, and then you would have just, you know, would have been a number on the deck and you would have found it. Other than that, why it would not have been alphabetized is completely beyond me. So that's a pain in the butt. If you want to find it, you're really just going to have to skim through it. It's not the end of the world. There's not a ton of cards. Like, you can do it, but it's definitely not a pro. And again, that's why I feel like it just must be human error, because I can't imagine that that's how they would have decided to do it. If they did, my recommendation is always either have your cards numbered to easily find them or alphabetized to easily find them. One or the other is just needed in order to make it super quick and easy. If I just want to, you know, I get hedge and I just want a quick, you know, I got the basic idea. We've got great keywords here. I can run with hedge all myself. But just let's say I wanted to see, you know, what they wanted. I need to flip through until I can find it. And so when you're just wanting to quick do that, maybe in the middle of the reading or something, it should be easy to find. Okay, we're not going to belabor that point any longer because, again, I personally think it was probably an accident. Oh, well, you know what? While we're there, of course, I already closed it, but let's just go ahead. Because I'm not going to do this for each of the cards. We're just going to look at them. But let's just show what we do get in the guidebook for hedge. So we do get a full color image of the cards, which I love. We have hedge, potential boundaries, and indecisions, you know, like kind of walking the hedge, middle ground. Then we have a card meaning. The hedge, or natural boundary, serves two purposes: to define a safe zone, protecting you from what's outside, or to keep you in one place like a pen. The hedge card asks you to review your own boundaries and how you respond to boundaries created by others. A hedge is also a symbol of moving between two states of being or two worlds. Riding the hedge, I call it walking the wall. My whole life I had a blog forever called Walking the Wall, and I have a short story called Walking the Wall about this. Riding the hedge is a phrase used to describe spirit journeys where a witch's awareness travels to acquire information and undertake new experiences. The hedge belongs to neither world, being the liminal space between the two. If you are in that liminal space, it's time to choose which side to step into for now. You can't stay there forever. Reflection: do you need to be firmer about how you allow others to impact you, or are your boundaries so strong that you push people away? So that's what you have here. Again, I think for the most part, you know, the keywords at the bottom are going to be plenty enough to sink into. It's not like you're getting like a ton of extra information here, but there we have it. So I'm really not going to refer to this much as I normally do because I don't want to have to search for each one of the cards. There are some, there's a blessing there for the deck in here, deck maintenance, how to read oracle cards, and there are like a past, present, and future, just a quick connection. There's an elemental spread, there's a tree spread, and then like a wheel of the year. Oh, no, this is a garden gate. Like, I like that. I like spread that has to do with the topic. So there's a garden gate spread there, and then there's a wheel of the year. So there's definitely quite a few. I would probably never do that large, although this kind might work for a larger spread. We'll see how it feels. But that's what you have there. Sorry, I don't even think I said, but the creator, the author, is Erin Murphy Hiscock, author of The Green Witch, and it is illustrated by Sarah Richard. The illustrations are absolutely gorgeous. Oh, here we go. Erin Murphy Hiscock is the author of The Green Witch Garden, The Green Witch Garden Journal, The Green Witch Grimoire, Spellcrafting, The Pregnant Goddess, Wicca, The Green Witch, The Way of the Witch Hedge, The House Witch, The Witch's Book of Self-Care, Solitary Wicca for Life, The Hidden Meanings of Birds, and a Spiritual Field Guide. She has been active in the field of alternative spirituality for more than 20 years and lives in Montreal, Canada. Sarah Richard is an Eisner and Ringo Award nominated artist. Her art is inspired by Art Nouveau, Art Deco, Victorian funerary imagery, and the beauty of the natural world. She is a native of New Hampshire and grew up surrounded by creaking trees, screaming blue jays, wild herbs, and mushrooms. Love that. And you can find more of her artwork at sarahrichard.com. Okay. I know I keep scrolling in and out, but So I kind of split this up, and this was kind of you know, just looking at these things on my own. There are some very specific places like hedge, hearth, and altar, which I love this in terms of sort of that outside liminal space, right? Outside and or the liminal space here that we're working in. The hearth fire is that sort of safety and comfort, but then going down more specific into more of a working space in the altar space there. So I actually quite liked those. It's not that they're necessarily suited off, but I liked the going broad to specific spaces there. And then there is this beautiful sort of cards that are sort of about the different parts of plants and trees and things. So you do have like the roots, right, that goes into the trunk, that goes into the leaves up there in the branches. And then we do have when things are budding, and then we do have the fruit of, you know, the buds then turn into the fruits there. So I quite like that cycle there, or that movement of, or the parts, I guess, of a plant or a tree there. And then we do have what I would say are tools, right? So we have the mortar and pestle, we have a walking staff, a sickle, a watering can. We'll look at the art is stunning, but we'll look at that closer in a minute. The cauldron and the broom, so those are actual tools that we can use. And then let's see what else. I didn't have a specific. I should have written down what I was thinking. These are more action oriented: to sow, to tend, to harvest, to preserve. Cup of tea, I guess, could even be seen as a tool, and potion could be seen as a tool, right? But you can make a potion, you can make a cup of tea, and so those are ways I could see to take actions. Of course, you could say that with the broom to sweep out the energy. So these can be action, or we're going to do something with these. So all of these, I suppose, could be tools and the actions that we take to do them. But I do like the sowing, tending, harvesting, the sort of sowing our seeds, tending the crops, harvesting. So we have that growth process similar to like the process of the plants. And then preserve. So we have sowing the seed, tending the soil and the plant, harvesting, and then how are we going to preserve them so that we can use them throughout the winter. So I love having that cycle being placed in there as well. So that one I liked. And then I would say the rest of these are kind of natural things like rain and snow and fog and spring and summer and autumn and winter and seeds and soil and moon. Like I guess you can put like seeds could go in other places. Actually, seeds could probably go in here, right? Because before you get even to the roots, like you've got the seeds as part of that whole process there as well. You know, so, and we'll go through all these, but they're just kind of, and again, salt for me would also be a tool because I use a lot of salt as tools. We've got different types of trees, different types of plants, different crystals as well, some, and then some animals also. I think there's not that many crystals. Was it just the two? There's not a lot of crystals, but there are just a couple crystals. I won't say that's only those two, I guess, until we go over it, but we do have a couple crystals. So it's kind of things of the earth, weather, and things like that. So that's kind of like in broad strokes how the deck is broke down. How am I gonna do this? I'm gonna do this, and this, because I do want to look at the artwork close up. It's absolutely gorgeous. Like, I love the style of this art. It has a sketchy quality, I guess you would say, but then it's got the with like almost like color washes. I don't know if it's watercolor or chalk. It almost looks like it may be pastels colors, or it could be a mix of things, or it could be digital. I don't know how how she does her artwork, but it's absolutely beautiful. I love it. Mostly what I would say muted tones, but then you do get pops of vibrancy, but it isn't a, it is a relatively sketchy, muted tones, but still has these beautiful pops of color. Let me scroll out a little bit more so we get the whole thing. There we go. And again, I'm just gonna, let's just look at the card. This would be a little bit shorter with me not being able to find them every single time, but that's okay. Again, I like the altar. This is the place. We have the keywords of gratitude and releasing burdens. But this to me would be like the place where we're doing our work, where we're setting our intentions, where we're feeding our intentions. So this is a powerful, but we are like leaving offerings for gratitude. We are, again, doing a lot of the work here. So I think there's a lot you can do with altar, like kind of like get thee to the altar, right? In a different way than Christian thinking. Here we have the hearth. Sometimes it's time just to sit by the fire and recoup, which I think is also, and comfort. I love the can. Again, I love the artwork here. In some ways it reminds me, and I'm not saying this in a negative sense to either of them, but it kind of reminds me of what I love about Anna Torren's artwork, right? Where this got that beautiful sketchiness, but then the color overlay. For Anna, that's definitely watercolor. I don't know about this one. I'm kind of feeling like it may be, again, either digitally or otherwise. It has a little bit more of a pastel feel to it. That's quite beautiful. Sorry. Whoa, hello. Hello, come back in. There we go. It's beautiful. I really love that sketchy style. We do have a border that I believe is this, yeah, it looks to be the same on all of them. That's beautiful and goes really well with it. Does give it a kind of Victorian feel, and we have that, even the portraiture and stuff, it just does feel, give it that sort of Victorian feel to it. So we have the hearth, safety, comfort, and spiritual connection, and then the hedge, which takes us to the liminal spaces, potential boundaries, and indecision. Needing to make a decision. We do have a bit of a pathway built into this card as well that you could utilize. Again, we're moving into this process, right? We're sowing the seeds here, and this has planning, setting intentions, and optimism. We have a lot of hope for what we sow. Tending, maintenance, encouragement, and guidance. So now we're doing the work of tending what we have sown. Hopefully, right, if we've done a good job at tending and, outside things that can come in and make a mess out of things, we're hoping to have a beautiful harvest. Does take determination, does take hard work, but you come kind of full circle to the agricultural process. But then I love that extra card there of preservation or preserve, security, forethought. Now we've got to use what we have been able to harvest and make it stretch as long as we're able to stretch. And the chipmunk is doing their due diligence as well. It's just really sweet. I love her artwork. Very sweet. So here then we have the soy. I thought this was seeds. Somehow, some reason I think I pulled this out. So this should probably go in the other one. I thought it was seeds, but it's actually soil. Somebody else was probably saying, no, it doesn't say seeds. But anyways, here we have the soil that it goes in. I think that would go better down in with the earth that we have over here. So I'm just going to throw it down there. Here we have the parts, right? We have the roots, healthy patterns, early growth. I like the skulls here. That gives us a very ancestral. I would definitely use this as an ancestor card. Absolutely gorgeous. Love that card. Love the trunk. Love the mushrooms. We have mushrooms here. We have mushrooms on. We can also see the branches and the way that it starts to split off. Stability, loyalty, and reliability in the trunk. We have the leaves of the tree, renewal, revival, and progress. Then we have the buds for new beginnings and expansion. And of course, those buds then turn into the fruit, achievement and success. So we have that sort of all of those parts that go into the making of the plant. So then how, again, for me, salt is a tool, and this is in a bowl with a spoon. Like, this does feel like it's one of the tools. Protection, banishing negativity. We have a cup of tea, patience and reassessment. So pretty. It's so pretty. Look at the plate itself. It's really quite gorgeous. What I like is that it does have a lot of white. It does have white space, right? So I do love cards that are just end-to-end gorgeous, borderless, filled with color. But I do like this because there is some white space that gives it a style, a kind of a cartomancy style. But it's not, so sometimes if you have too much white space, I actually don't like decks like that. Sometimes, just depending on the sizing, if it just feels like it's not used at least a decent amount of it, and this just looks really nice. It's like just the right amount of using the space well. I think you could have, gone even farther on the border, but it's quite beautiful. It's just gorgeous. Her artwork is stunning. Potions, invigoration, and empowerment. The broom is gorgeous for energy clearing and freshening. The cauldron, I mean, look at how beautiful that is. You got stuff laying all around. It's like, this is a work. I like that it's messy too, right? Because when you're actually working, whether that's with the bowl or cauldron or whatever you work with, but if you're somebody who makes like tinctures and salts and stuff like that, as I do, there's nothing neat about it in the midst of it. Now, I do like things to look pretty. I like things to be in its place. I like to get everything lined up. But in the midst of creating things, it does get quite messy, and that is okay. We are setting the energy and setting the tone. This is beautiful. I love the water from the leaf pouring into the bucket, which will then go back and pour into the earth. That's just beautiful. Watering can for asking for help and sharing burdens. Sickle for focus, regrowth, and letting go. I love having a cutting card. A walking staff for support and encouragement. And it looks like it has the Raido rune on the tip of it, which makes sense. Here we have a mortal and pestle. I have different sizes of these and absolutely couldn't be without them. Integration, subtlety, and thoroughness. Get in there, grind it up depending on how finely ground that you want the textures to be, and getting it all integrated together. Here we have, now we're kind of going into, I think, just the earthy, just the different various miscellaneous cards. We do have some weather cards, which I love. Rain for cleansing, purification, and hydration. Snow for rest and contemplation. Fog for obscurity and feeling lost. Like, that is just so gorgeous. I love the artwork of this deck. Then we have the seasons. Spring for rebuilding, awakening, and rebirth. Summer for expansion and growth. Autumn for bounty and balance. It's so beautiful. Winter and ending, recharging, and reflection. I mean, these are fantastic seasonal cards. Love them. Here we have this. There was a seeds. I just didn't put the right one in. So you could put the seeds in with the other one, but it doesn't matter once we mix them up. New ideas, hope, and open-mindedness. Moon for phases, cycles, and intuition. There isn't a, oh, there is a sun. Okay, I say, is there not? I thought there wasn't a sun for some reason, but we have a sun. Healing energy, happiness, comfort, and joy. I would also put maybe abundance and mastery there. Beautiful earth for peace and grounding. Has a very feeling of like the universe or the world card. Everything is sort of rooted and grounded. The soil that we talked about, stability and simplicity. Pine tree for vitality, longevity, and perseverance. Oak tree for power, courage, and strength. The mint plant for abundance, persistence, and proliferation. I like the charm that's here and the rune that's here as well with Fehu. Do we have any others or some kind of a sigil-y energy knot work there? I was seeing if maybe that was something. I haven't. That's the first one other than the staff that I picked up on a rune, but it's not. I'm not saying that I haven't missed some, but I love the charm here mixed in. Rosemary for remembrance, loyalty, and faithfulness. I like the spoon there. Chamomile for gentleness, relaxation, and sleep. Basil for prosperity, luck, and love. Thyme for presence and awareness. That, of course, also does have a crystal there. This one's got ladybugs. We have the candle energy there. I'm not sure what's, I think that's just part of the, I'm not sure what we've got going on here other than decorative. We have the beautiful mushroom card, recycling, breaking down problems. We have lavender. Again, we have some crystals. We have a charm, some stones and crystals there. Tranquility, kindness, and self-care. Let's just look. Let me see if I can find lavender. Just out of curiosity as to whether or not it mentions the things that are there. I don't think that it will, but let me see if I can find it. Oops, I just saw it. I find it's almost better just to like flip through quickly until like you catch it with your eye. Lavender is a popular green witchcraft herb associated with take a moment. Nope, it doesn't mention any of those things in the art itself. Here we have sage for wisdom, purification, and harmony. Then we have some insects, mostly here. Bee for community, cooperation, and sweetness. Butterfly for transformation, joy, beauty, and transience. Bird for freedom and opportunity, so different types of birds. Earthworm for clarity and rumination. Again, we do have a crystal there. The moth for mystery, concealment, and illusion. I like that with the butterfly and the moth. And then there's other crystals in the deck, but 2 cards for crystals. Carnelian for energy, leadership, and creativity, and moss agate for positivity and change. So altogether, like, I don't even know how many cards there are, to be honest. I don't think, it doesn't say on the back, and we don't have anything numbered. So let's see. I'll get right back to you. Okay, looks like there are 50 cards. Do not quote me on that. It was a quick count, but it seems like there are 50 cards there. Again, the backs are absolutely gorgeous. I love the artwork. Now, my friend Patrick's had this since Christmas time. I'm 99.9% sure he got it for Christmas, but he's had it for a bit and I definitely used it. We have been doing a cardish a day, not forcing it every single day, but roughly ish every day. And for a lot of them, at the first when we were doing it, he was pulling one with the Season of the Witch and one of these cards, and he was quite enjoying that combination and the sort of clarifyingness or clarity that he would get on the one card with the secondary pull of the Green Witch Oracle. So he definitely has had use out of it. I have not used it because I've had it set in order and then was waiting to get this walkthrough done, which is why I am trying to do so that I can shuffle some of these newer decks that I have picked up since Christmas-ish to be able to use them. So here we have the B for community, cooperation, and sweetness. The altar, this is really interesting to me because the altar for me again is more like of a working space, like let's actually get to the doing the business and get sitting in space to get some things done. But we have the B, which is about community, right? But in it being a safe space. So it's like kind of a message here of bringing the community in, right, to the, like as a group, like you may have friends or people that you're calling to, can be your ancestors that you're calling to the altar as well, but in community with your ancestors or your guides or other people. Like I have definitely, you know, had specific workings that I was doing and will call certain, you know, friends that I trust and say, hey, can you light a candle and sort of put this sort of energy into the space of what I'm trying to do. Certainly call on the ancestors as well, but with whatever intention that you're trying to do, with whatever you're actively going to be engaged in, to call in community, whatever that might look like, whether it's spirits or guides or ancestors or guardians or actual people that you trust into that space, right? And that you feel safe and comfortable with to create this energy here. That's actually quite a beautiful set of cards to have in conjunction with each other. Here we have healing and happiness and comfort coming when you take care of yourself and put yourself in things to right into a peaceful area or into peaceful space. Here we have winter and tending and a cup of tea. I love this, right? Even through, and especially in winter, it may be a lot more work to tend to all the things. If you think about people that have to like go out and crack the water thing, you know, the ice over the water and gather it all takes more work in the winter, right? So you may have to do that extra work to take care of things and keep things moving in the energy of winter. But then, you know, at the end of the day, sit down and restore yourself because you're expending a lot more energy as well, right? So you can read it that way. I recommend doing this with, you know, when you get a new deck, just shuffle it up and, you know, go through it. If you're a 3-card reader, if you're more of a 2-card reader, then just do 2. You can go one by one, but that's kind of what we did already, right? Just and get a feel, because some decks are 1-card readers. Like some decks don't need 3 cards, or they're not even conducive to 3 cards. So you may start to say, you know what, I actually think that I just need this one card. It's like a 1-card pull. I actually think this we have the seeds, new ideas, new things that you want to do in order to bring about creativity and leadership, to inspire those. What seeds do you have to plant in order to grow this energy of leadership here? And it should start with a cleaning out of energy. Let's clean things in, brush energy out, and bring energy back in that's going to support this this middle ground. So I do think this would read well with 3 cards as well. So you can just like keep going through the deck that way. I find it a really good way to kind of gauge, is this a multi-card reader, or is this more of a pull a card and sit with the concept? That's a great way to be able to do that. This also might be good in sort of a, you know, I like 3-card reading. So you might, you know, do a tarot reading and, you know, get your message here. Although this is actually probably not a good example because it has, you know, teacups and things like that already, but we'll just look at it more playing card or tarot wise, right? We may take a look at this as the Queen of Cups asking us to change something so that our personal power can grow, right? So that we can meet the challenges and kind of balance things out strategically to keep moving forward with the 7 of Swords, get the full picture, see which way we're going to go, you know, so on and so forth, right? So we might do that reading, and then you might pull a do this, don't do this, which would be interesting, wouldn't it? Do this, bring in community and utilize community. Don't do this, which is really to just want to sit back in comfort and joy and sort of already be seeing the end results of your labor, because right now there are things for you to do before you can get there. I love when you use, you know, to have positive cards, so to speak, but they're in the position of don't do this, because it forces you to think about how could you utilize this in a positive, in a negative way, right? When it's a really positive. So it's a great way to practice your skills of thinking about, okay, what could that mean as a don't do this, as well. So you could use them that way. You could also, like, I would use the roots for ancestors. So you could shuffle, 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 find your ancestor, or it'd be great, find your cauldron, right? Pulling cards on either side to see what should go into your cauldron. Pull your roots card here, and then get a message from your ancestors. This has a very symbolic feel, like it will go good with this type of thing. Of course, now I won't. You probably have already seen the roots card and are saying, go back, go back. Yep. But I could see doing this with the cauldron card. You could do it with the sickle. What should you cut? You can do it with the cauldron. You can do it with the pestle and mortar. What energy should you mix together and grind and incorporate together? How should you make your cup of tea? Go to the altar. What energy should you take to the altar? It's because I'm trying to talk too much that I can't. There we go. So then you could do your roots and pull your card and get sort of a message from your ancestors, right? There is abundance all around you if you are persistent in finding your way through the fog and through the thing, and just you could get a quick message from your ancestors. I actually think this deck will work really well for that. If you're looking to try to figure out like what are going to be the fruits, find the fruits, look at the cards on either side. I think this will be a great way to work with the energy of this deck. So it's really gorgeous. I do think this is going to be a good one. This might be a good one to keep on your working table, your ancestor table, or, you know, wherever you're kind of getting quick messages, so you can pull for that particular energy and then see the card on either side. I don't know. I haven't used it yet. Obviously, this is just my first impressions. Again, Patrick mostly was using it in conjunction. Of course, I don't. Here we go. In conjunction with another deck, not this deck, right? So, but he was pulling a card. So here we have the Fisher King Court or Brigadoon, if you watch this walkthrough, right? Which is really that understanding of what we bring from the otherworldly realm, right? And then you might pull Potion and say, okay, that's the kind of energy that we need to bottle up these treasures that we have pulled forward. And so you can always use things in conjunction with another deck. Obviously, you know all this. I'm just babbling because why not? You could also pull it and cast some charms. We saw charms and runes in the deck, so this would be, I think, a beautiful deck. Let me make sure I don't put the wrong card in the wrong box. To, you know, pull a card for, you know, the overall what you should be thinking about, and then, you know, grab some charms and cast it, grab some runes and cast it. Visually, I think this would go really great with charms, as we've seen some charms in the cards itself as well. I like to, you know, find those decks that do go really well with charm casting, because it's great to use at the start of a charm casting reading to sort of set sort of an overall energy, and then cast your charms on top of it. And this does feel like I can feel it in my fingertips that this might be really great to utilize with casting if you do like to cast. So yeah, I'm excited to play with it. Again, it's had some good recommendations of usage. So there you have it, the Green Witches Oracle Deck Guidebook. Maybe in future printings they will fix the, you know, problem with numbering or alphabetizing the cards. Again, you know, just zip through it. You'll find it eventually. And I really think these are pretty solid concepts and keywords to be able to just kind of riff off yourself. So I don't know that this would be one I would be constantly, there's not like tons of information about the herb or the bird or anything like that that I would really particularly feel like I had to go back to the guidebook all the time. Personally, I don't feel like that's probably necessary. So I don't feel like this is going to bother me that much. But you know, everybody's different. Some people really do like to lean into that entry each time as just really sinking into what the author intended for the card, and so then that might be more of an issue. But you could also just, I've done this on a couple decks where you could just write them out and put the page number, and that way you kind of make your own index there as well. I've definitely done that. Like if you like a deck enough, you're willing to do that little extra work to sort it out. So there you have it. I hope you've enjoyed this and that you have a wonderful rest of whatever time of day it is when you're watching this.